Okay, we are now on the record for Tuesday, June 29, 2021's afternoon criminal docket. Before we start taking up the pleas, are there any quick announcements? Signify with a reaction button, please. Okay, Attorney Savannah Gonzalez.
Judge, good afternoon. I have number 12 on your docket, Paula Karina Cruz.
Okay, that is CR 21-01857-I, the state of Texas versus Paula Cruz. Is Ms. Cruz on?
She's not, Judge. What I was going to say is yesterday, Ms. Guarenia and I agreed to pass it. However, I think we were a little past Ms. Rivera's deadline because the docket had already gone out. We did get her signed up for a PTD today, and we just need to finalize that and get that over to the DA's office, Judge.
Okay, and how much time do you need?
They have to review it, Judge. I would defer to Ms. Guarenia, whatever she thinks is appropriate.
Okay, the earliest I have for placement is August 26th at 1:30.
That works for me, Judge.
Okay.
At
Okay,
1:30.
so August 26th at 1:30.
Judge, do you need me to have her log in and just check in? What would you prefer?
No, she can, I'll go ahead and allow her to wait until August the 26th at 1:30.
Got it. Thank you so much, Judge. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you.
Okay, any other quick announcement, or is everyone else asleep?
Your Honor, Lily Gutierrez, I have number, I believe it's number 8 on the docket, and it is, I was unable to get him to sign or to file a waiver of arraignment. He did give me permission to sign one. He's in jail, Mr. Jorge Peralta.
Okay, let me have the deputy bring him in. Jorge Peralta. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. And this is case number CR 21-05143I, State of Texas versus Jorge Gil Peralta. Lily Gutierrez on behalf of Mr. Peralta. He is a Spanish speaker, Your Honor.
Okay, so he's ready for arraignment.
He is ready for arraignment. That is correct.
Okay, and Isaias Cantu, is he also ready for arraignment? Is Mr. Isaias Cantu there, Deputy?
No, Your Honor, we don't have an Isaias Cantu with us.
Judge, he bailed out on April 28th.
Okay.
I believe he's on, Judge, connecting to audio.
Okay. Isaias Cantu, can you unmute, please?
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Mr. Cantu, do you have an attorney?
Yes, my attorney is Fela B. Olivares, Your Honor.
Okay, did you advise Ms. Olivares of your court hearing today?
Yes, ma'am. She was well aware of it. I believe she said she was going to be on here with me.
Okay, as soon as she comes on, then I'll go ahead and take you up at that time.
Okay, do I just stay on?
Yes, sir. You do stay on.
I'm going to go ahead and unmute my audio, ma'am, because I'm currently at work right now. But as soon as I see her on, I'll unmute it.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm sorry about that, Your Honor.
That's fine. Okay. So the only arraignment I have then left is just Mr. Peralta. Okay, let me go back and I'm going to look to see if everybody else is ready with their things. Is Mr. Michael Rogers on? Mr. Rogers? Okay. Ms. Connett, you're here on Brandon White, is that correct? Ms. Connett? Okay, Attorney Jose Osuna?
Yes, Your Honor, present, ready, and ours, for the court record, is a short announcement. It's just that my client just got on, so we leave it to the court discretion.
That's fine. Is that on Marcos Morales?
Yes, Your Honor, this was a plea, but it evolved into an ADR. We submitted the documentation, but I'm not sure if the state has had a chance to review it. It was just very recently.
Okay, CR 21-02245-I, the state of Texas versus Marcos Morales. Mr. Morales, can you please turn your camera on?
And please unmute yourself, Mr. Morales.
I'm having, there you go.
Okay, okay, and can the state verify whether or not you've received all the proper documentation?
Yes, Your Honor, we did receive all the necessary requirements. We'll be filing a dismissal this afternoon after docket.
Okay, then as soon as that comes through, Mr. Osuna, I'll go ahead and sign off on it. I'll go ahead and put a tickler on just for July the 9th for my purpose, just to make sure that it's been submitted.
Yes, Your Honor. May we be excused? for
You
now, Your Honor?
certainly may. Is that all you have?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, so Mr. Eric Jarvis, are we ready on Mr. Israel de los Santos?
He is signed up and ready for a plea. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. de los Santos, are you present? I think he's trying to connect to audio.
And Your Honor, just for the record, this is a revocation.
Okay, Mr. de los Santos, can you hear me now? Okay, I'm sure, I think he does. It's just he needs to unmute.
Yes.
Okay,
Hello?
okay. Yes, sir, I hear you.
You hear
So
me
we're,
now?
yes, I can. We're gonna call you momentarily, okay? Attorney Richard Gonzalez, are you ready on Miss Samantha Garza?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready on Ms. Samantha Garza. Also, Your Honor, I have numbers, I believe 27 and 28, which are also pleas Alyssa Villanueva.
Okay, and Ms. Villanueva, is she present?
Should be, Judge.
I didn't see an Alyssa Villanueva log
Then let
on.
me go ahead and let me text her right now to get on.
Okay, but the plea is ready.
Plea is ready, yes.
Okay, we'll just see if she gets on then. Okay, Carlos Jimenez, is Mr. Jimenez here? Carlos Jimenez? Okay, Mr. Esquivel, who do you have, sir?
Good afternoon, Judge. I have number 6 and 7, Alejandro Martinez. It's going to be a plea to one, and the state has agreed to dismiss the other.
Okay, Deputy, if you can please bring Alejandro Martinez to the front.
How to do that. Está muy lejos. I think I gave you that.
Okay, Ms. Olivares, you're here on an arraignment for Isaias Cantu, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Okay, your client has checked in, so we're gonna take you up momentarily.
Okay, we filed waivers too, Your Honor.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Okay,
this morning, they're all there.
okay, let me see if they've been accepted.
Okay,
Let me have my staff check.
yes, Your Honor. I also have a probate, that's why I was kind of logging in at the same time.
That's fine, let me just check on the arraignments. If the waivers have been accepted already, we'll go ahead and give you a status date and you can be released.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Judge. They've been accepted. They're on file. The only thing is that there is no proof of interlock for number 1.
Oh, okay.
There's no what?
There's no proof of interlock device or a mobile device for his driving while intoxicated. I cannot accept a waiver of arraignment on that one unless there's proof.
I don't know. Isaias, is he there, Judge? I can see
Yes.
him.
Mr.
Can he
Cantu,
hear?
do you have a mobile device or an an interlock device, sir?
I think he's on mute.
No, he's not on mute.
Oh, okay.
He was connected to audio earlier.
Can you hear
Mr.
me now?
Cantu, I can now.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, 48 hours within my release, I went ahead and got it. It's a mobile device.
Okay, who do you have that with?
I have it with something solutions. It's over here in Westaco.
Okay, let me see. Ms. Soto, do you have any record yet of that mobile device?
No, Judge, but I will be requesting it. It's probably Safeguard Solutions.
Okay,
I think
so,
it is,
Miss-
it's on, the
Put it on
application is
silent.
just the back.
Mr. Cantu. Okay, what I need for you to do is take proof of that mobile device to your attorney so she can amend your waiver of arraignment and attach it.
I have it on me right now, ma'am.
You need to take it to her, okay?
Okay,
So,
it's your attorney or,
What is it gonna bring to me, Judge? A proof of it?
yes,
Okay, okay. I'll tell him when we get off
Your Honor,
when you excuse us.
hold on. Yes,
as I apologize, Judge, we are missing as well notices of appearance for Ms. Olivares.
Although I have the waivers with my name on them.
The clerks won't add your name, Ms. Olivares, unless there's a notice of appearance. I apologize.
You didn't file one, see?
no, we
We'll
haven't.
file on all of them, Judge, in a few
okay.
minutes.
So he's gonna give you proof of his mobile device and then you can file an amended waiver of arraignment, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then, he's going, I show that he has some pending felonies. Can the state verify that for me?
Yes, they're in the 430th, Your Honor. One.
Yes, Judge, the defendant has two pending felony.
Does he have a setting on those yet?
One's at intake and one at motion to adjudicate on the 30th of this month.
Okay,
We're set for tomorrow, Judge, and Judge Ramon is probably going to reset since they're, it's just an adjudication. I think they're gonna reset it because Andy called me.
okay, and he has one at intake. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go ahead and have y'all come back on August the 31st at 9:30 a.m. And by then, please have your notice of appearance filed on each of the cases and the amended waiver of arraignment with the proof of mobile device on his DWI charge.
Okay, all right, I got it. Thank you, Your Honor.
So Mr. Cantu, we'll see you on August the 31st at 9:30.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may be excused.
You have a
Thank you,
good
Your
day.
Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you, likewise. Okay. Jose Miguel Mendez, are you present? Okay, Mr. Salas, you are present. Okay, Mr. Corena, you're ready on Christian Sanchez?
Yes, ma'am, he's present, and that's a plea to a pretrial diversion.
Okay,
I had another one, but I don't see my client present on the other one, Jesus Villarreal. I've been calling him, he has not answered. He's come in, the plea papers are ready to go, but I don't know why he's not present.
okay. Okay. Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, were you able to get a hold of your client, Alyssa Villanueva?
Yes, Your Honor. I just spoke to her. She just texted me back saying that she is logging in as we speak.
Okay, so far she hasn't been in, so I'll go ahead and wait for her.
Okay.
Okay, and Mr. Ramos, Noe Ramos?
Good afternoon, Judge. Dora Garza standing in for Edna Cedillo. I did see Mr. Ramos logged in, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Ramos, okay, this is just a status. So I'm gonna call CR 21-00985-I, the state of Texas versus Noe Ramos. And do you know if Ms. Cedillo has anything to report?
Yes, Judge, there is a felony pending out of the same transaction and requesting more time.
Okay, does the state show if that's already been indicted or where are we at?
No, Your Honor, it's still at intake.
Okay. Then we'll go ahead. I think we've been waiting since the first. This is the second on this one, so let me go ahead and check in on August the 31st.
And that's
And
at
we're gonna-
1:30? Okay.
Yes, we're gonna go ahead and move them to the 9:30. So August 31st at 9:30.
Okay, Judge, I'll let Edna know.
Okay. And Mr. Ramos, you are excused. Okay, and Ms. Garzon Alicia Segovia?
Yes, Judge, I know she's logged in as well.
And are we,
We were gonna put on victim testimony, Your Honor.
and are they here?
Yes, I believe Sergio Segovia is logged on as well. That's the victim in this case.
Okay. Okay, I'll recall you shortly, Ms. Garza.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Okay, Alyssa Villarreal, are you present? Or Villanueva, I'm sorry, Alyssa Villanueva?
She needs to unmute herself, Judge.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Okay, so Ms. Conant, are you moving forward on your motion to reduce bond?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, so you're ready on that with Brandon White?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I'll call you shortly. Okay.
Thank you.
So we're gonna have Alejandro Martinez with attorney Roel Esquivel. That's ready. Israel de los Santos with attorney Eric Jarvis. Samantha Garza with attorney Richard Gonzalez. Mr. Mendoza, do you want to stand in for Mr. J.R. Ramirez?
I can, Your Honor. He just texted me that Miss Mia, I don't see her here, was going to stand in for him. But if she does not, I have no issue standing in for him.
Okay, I see her coming in now. Let me see. She's having issues with joining.
Like I said, Your Honor, I have no issue with the court's permission.
Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and take up Mr. Salas. And then we have Christian Sanchez with
Yes, Your
attorney David Gorena.
He's
Mr.
present already.
Sanchez, Mr. Sanchez, please turn on your camera. Alyssa Nicole Villanueva with attorney Richard Gonzalez. And Mr. Gorena, I do not see that your other client has come on.
I don't see him either, Judge. I don't know why he's not present.
Okay, that's fine. We'll proceed with who we have in front of us. If I called out your name, Ms. Castañeda, we do have Mr. Jorge Peralta. That is an arraignment, and he is a Spanish speaker. Okay, so I need Alejandro Martinez and Jorge Peralta, deputy, please to the front at this time. If I called out your name, I need for you to please raise your right hand.
Mr. Peralta, por favor, levante su mano derecha.
Okay. Everyone, do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Jura que el testimonio que está a punto de dar es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Mr. Peralta.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Alejandro Martinez.
Sí.
Yes.
Is Mr. Martinez Spanish speaking, Mr. Esquivel?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Israel Campos de los Santos. Israel Campos de los Santos. The answer is yes or no. Samantha Garza.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Severo Salas.
Yes, ma'am.
Christian Gomez Sanchez.
Yes, ma'am.
Alyssa Nicole Villanueva.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you all may all lower your hands. And cause number CR 2104-058-I and CR 2104-059-I in the state of Texas versus Alejandro Martinez. Is that your true and correct name, sir? Ms. Castañeda?
Alejandro Martínez, ¿ese es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Sí, con la abogada.
Yes.
In CR 2105-143-I in the state of Texas versus Jorge Gil Peralta. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Jorge Gil Peralta, ¿ese es su nombre correcto y verdadero?
Sí.
Yes.
In CR 1704661-I in the state of Texas versus Israel Campos de los Santos. Is that your true and correct name, sir? In CR 1904247-I in the state of Texas versus Samantha Garza. Is that your true and correct name, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
In CR 2007-058-I and CR 1800094-I and CR 1714465-I and CR 1714464-I in the state of Texas versus Severo Garces Salas. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
CR 1710944-I in the state of Texas versus Christian Gomez Sanchez. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
In CR 20-07289-I and CR 20-07290-I in the state of Texas versus Alyssa Nicole Villanueva. Is that your true and correct name, ma'am? Ma'am, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are before the court today, Mr. Alejandro Martinez, being charged with driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of greater than a 0.15, which is a Class A misdemeanor, sir. Ms.
Your Honor,
Castañeda?
Mr. Martínez, está usted frente a la corte por un caso de manejar intoxicado con un en estado de ebriedad con una concentración de alcohol más grande de 0.15.
In CR 21-05143-I, the state of Texas versus Jorge Gil Peralta. Sir, you are before the court charged with assault causing bodily injury on a family member, a Class A misdemeanor.
Mr. Peralta, está usted frente a la corte por un cargo de asalto causa lesiones corporales a un familiar, el que es un delito menor clase A.
Mr. De Los Santos, you are here on a revocation, sir, for possession of marijuana of less than 2 ounces. And that's a Class B misdemeanor. Ms. Samantha Garza, you are before the court for a driving while intoxicated charge, a Class B misdemeanor. Mr. Severo Salas, you are before the court charged with possession of marijuana less than 2 ounces, a Class B misdemeanor. Also, on a burglary of vehicle, a Class A misdemeanor. Those are the ones that you are pleading to, sir. On Christian Gomez Sanchez, you are here before the court on driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of greater than a 0.15, a Class A misdemeanor. Ms. Alyssa Nicole Villanueva, you are here before the court charged with assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor. If you are being charged with a Class A misdemeanor, a Class A misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Ms. Castañeda, can you please explain that to both Mr. Martinez and Mr. Peralta?
Your Honor, if I may, I just needed to clear something up real quick. Mr. Martinez was arrested under Alejandro Martinez. He has informed me that his dad's name is Romero, but he's been processed under Martinez, his mother's name.
Okay, but is he the same person that is being charged with those offenses?
That is correct, Judge.
Okay, then we'll proceed. Ms. Castañeda, you may translate for a Class A misdemeanor.
Mr. Martínez y Mr. Peralta, para una ofensa menor clase A, tiene una multa potencial de hasta 1 año en la cárcel del condado de Hidalgo y una multa de hasta $4,000 por convicción.
for those defendants that are being charged with a Class B misdemeanor. A Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Okay? Do you understand the range of punishment that you can receive for the offense of which you are charged? Ms. Castañeda?
Mr. Martínez y Mr. Romero, ¿entienden ustedes el rango de castigo que pueden recibir por los delitos de los que están acusados? Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Peralta?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. De Los Santos? Do you understand, yes or no? Okay, Ms. Garza, do you understand, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Villanueva?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Salas?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This applies to everyone except for Mr. Peralta, who is here for an arraignment. All of you that are pleading today have this is the admonishment for the plea. You have a right to an attorney and the right to a trial by jury. You can waive one or both of those rights by signing a written document with this court. I will ask you at this time if you had an opportunity to review the document with your attorney before signing it. This will be a yes or no answer. Ms. Castañeda, can you please translate for Mr. Martínez Romero?
Mr. Martínez, tiene usted el derecho de un abogado y el derecho para un juicio por jurado, pero puede renunciar a uno o a dos de sus derechos firmando un documento con esta corte. ¿Tuvo usted una oportunidad de revisar esos documentos con su abogado antes de firmar?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. De Los Santos? Yes or no, sir?
Ma'am.
Ms. Garza?
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Salas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Villanueva?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did each of you understand that when you sign that document, you are also waiving your right to a trial by jury? Ms. Castañeda, can you please translate that for Mr. Martínez Romero?
Mr. Martínez, ¿entendió usted que cuando firmó estos documentos está renunciando a su derecho de un juicio por jurado?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. De Los Santos?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it's because you're on a real bad delay, but okay. Ms. Garza?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Salas?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Villanueva?
Yes.
Okay, then the court will accept your waiver of trial by jury. Has any court ever declared you to be mentally competent, crazy, or insane? Yes or no? Mr. Martínez Romero, Ms. Castañeda, can you please translate?
Mr. Martínez, ¿alguna corte lo ha declarado mentalmente incompetente, loco o demente?
Sí o no?
No.
No.
Okay, Mr. Peralta?
No.
No.
Okay. Mr. De Los Santos, yes or no?
No.
Ms. Garza?
No, ma'am.
No.
Mr. Salas?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Villanueva?
No, Your Honor.
Counselors, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent and able to assist you in their own defense? Mr. Esquivel?
Mr. Martinez is competent, Judge.
Ms. Gutierrez?
Your Honor, Mr. Peralta is competent.
Mr. Jarvis?
Same announcement as to Mr. De Los Santos, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Same announcement as to Ms. Garza, Ms. Villanueva.
Okay, Mr. Mendoza?
Mr. Salas is competent, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Guerra, you're standing in for Mr. J.R. Ramirez today?
Yes, that's correct, Judge. And in speaking with Mr. Salas, he is competent as well, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Corena?
Mr. Gomez Sanchez is competent, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Gonzalez, you already answered as to Ms. Villanueva, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Then at this time, the court will find that all the defendants before the court are mentally competent and able to assist their attorneys with their own defense. As to Mr. Peralta, the court will be entering a plea of not guilty on his behalf. Ms. Gutierrez, how much time do you need, ma'am?
Your Honor, if I can get 30 days, please.
Okay. Is he in there on this or on something else? Is he there only on this or on another matter?
Your Honor, they're only on this. It appears I was appointed a while back, but for some reason this got lost at some point somewhere. It fell through the cracks. And so I need to get in touch with the state to see if they would agree to a bond reduction. I believe we can, based on my conversation with Mr. Peralta. I barely spoke with him yesterday. And so that we can get him out. He claims his innocence, obviously, and so I don't believe that I can work anything out at this time.
Okay. Well, the thing is that I wouldn't have anything until August the 26th, and I don't want to see if there's a bond reduction on it, then I would like to hear you sooner, such as like July the 8th. But I don't know if the state has had an opportunity to look to see if a bond reduction can be agreed to.
Judge, we're still trying to reach out to the victim on that one.
Okay. Why don't we come back just to check on how we're doing on that on the 8th, Ms. Gutierrez, at 1:30? And I will encourage the state to please try to see what contact can be made with the alleged victim between now and then, because I don't want him to be in there for too long, because as soon as I wouldn't be able to hear you from that time would be until August.
Yes, Your Honor, and if I may interject, due to the amount of time that the defendant has already spent on this case, we have made attempts to contact the victim, but the state would be willing to offer a reduction of a $2,500 cash surety with the condition that he stay away from the victim.
Okay, so at this time, Ms. Gutierrez, they'll agree to reduce it to $2,500.
Very well, Your Honor. I will contact his family members to determine whether that's something that's doable for him. If not, Your Honor, I will contact both the state and the court that I do still need the July 8th date, and I will file a motion for a bond reduction.
I agree. So July the 8th at 1:30, let's come back on that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
I have no before this court. May I be excused?
Yes, and Mr. Peralta is also excused, Deputy. Okay, so for the remaining defendants, do each of you understand that if the punishment I assess does not exceed what's recommended by the state, you will need this court's permission to file an appeal? You understand that, yes or no? Ms. Castañeda, can you please explain that to Mr. Martinez Romero?
Mr. Martínez, entiende que si el castigo que voy a evaluar, si el castigo no excede la recomendación del Estado, usted va a necesitar el permiso de esta corte para si decide presentar una apelación.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. De Los Santos, do you understand that, yes or no?
Yes.
Ms. Garza?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Salas?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Villanueva?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you further understand that the court doesn't have to accept the recommendation of the state? Ms. Castañeda, please translate that.
Mr. Martínez, también entiende que la corte no tiene que aceptar la recomendación del Estado. Yes.
Okay, Mr. De Los Santos?
Yes.
Ms. Garza?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Salas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Villanueva?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, at this time, I need to ask you, are you a U.S. citizen? Ms. Castañeda, please ask Mr. Martinez Romero.
Mr. Martínez, ¿es usted ciudadano americano?
No.
No.
Okay. Mr. De Los Santos, are you a U.S. citizen, yes or no?
Yes.
Ms. Garza,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Salas,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez,
No, Your Honor.
and Ms. Villanueva.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. As to Mr. Martinez Romero and Cristian Gomez Sanchez, if you are not a U.S. citizen, entering a plea or a no contest will result in your deportation, exclusion from or admission from our country, and denial of naturalization under U.S. federal law. Do you understand the consequences of your plea, Mr. Martinez Romero, Ms. Castañeda?
Mr. Martínez, si usted no es ciudadano americano, entonces esta petición va a resultar en su deportación, expulsión del país y negación de la naturalización. ¿Entiende usted las consecuencias de su petición?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Christian Gomez Sanchez, do you understand the consequences of your plea today, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Understanding the consequences of the plea today, do you still want to move forward with your plea, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you please ask Mr. Martinez Romero?
Mr. Romero, entendiendo las consecuencias de su petición, si quiere proceder con su caso a hoy.
No.
Mr. Martínez, entendiendo
Repítame, por favor.
entendiendo usted las consecuencias de su petición, ¿quiere usted proceder con su caso hoy?
No. Sí.
Yes.
NCR 21-0405-8-I in the state of Texas versus Alejandro Martinez to the offense of driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of greater than a 0.15, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Alejandro Martínez Romero, en el caso del estado de Texas contra Alejandro Martínez Romero, en el caso de manejar en estado de ebriedad con una concentración de alcohol mayor de 0,1.5, ¿cómo se declara? ¿Culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
Guilty.
NCR 1704661-I in the state of Texas versus Israel Campos de los Santos for violation on your probation, sir. This is a revocation hearing. Do you plead guilty on this today or not guilty?
Guilty.
NCR 1904247-I in the state of Texas versus Samantha Garza for the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, ma'am. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
NCR 20-07058-I, the state of Texas versus Severo Salas for the offense of possession of marijuana for less than 2 ounces, a Class B misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
For CR 171464-I, the state of Texas versus Severo Garces Salas for burglary of a vehicle, a Class A misdemeanor, sir. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And CR 1710944-I, the state of Texas versus Cristian Gomez Sanchez for the offense of driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of greater than 0.15, a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Well, I'm in the. That's what I was gonna touch base with Mr. Gorena. I thought we were here for what was it? Verification.
You're here for a PTD placement, which requires you to plead guilty in order to be placed on pretrial diversion. That will be held over until to see if you complete the program successfully.
Guilty.
NCR 20-07289-I in the state of Texas versus Alyssa Nicole Villanueva to the charge to the offense of assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor, ma'am. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are each of you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, Mr. Martinez Romero?
Mr. Martínez, ¿está usted declarando culpable, libre y voluntariamente? Yes.
Mr. De Los Santos?
Yes.
Ms. Garza?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Salas?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Villanueva?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the court will make a finding that you are pleading guilty freely and voluntarily. I will call for state's evidence at this time.
Your Honor, regarding Israel Campos de los Santos, the state offers waivers of rights, consent to stipulation of evidence, and plea of true to state's motion to revoke post-conviction community supervision as State's Exhibit 1. State also requests defendant stipulate that he is the same defendant who was previously placed on probation. State will request that defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and state will request that defense counsel stipulate to the fact that all evidence that has been e-filed is sufficient evidence to corroborate the plea of guilty. Regarding, apologies, go ahead.
We can take him up. Well, let's do his first, and then we can do the other ones like we normally do. Mr.
Sorry.
Jarvis, you were saying?
Thank you, Your Honor. No objection, so agreed and stipulated as to Mr. De Los Santos, Your Honor.
Okay, there being no objection from defense counsel as to the exhibits are hereby admitted and approved. Therefore, in CR 1704661-I in the state of Texas versus Israel Campos de los Santos, it's a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. The court further finds that you are the same defendant that was previously placed on community supervision as well. And what's the state's recommendation?
State recommends a $100 fine plus court costs 1 day Hidalgo County jail credit for 1 day.
Okay, any questions or requests on behalf of your client, Mr. Jarvis?
No, that is our understanding of the agreement, Your Honor.
Okay, then the court will accept the state's recommendation. We'll give them 90 days to pay the fine and 90 days to pay the court costs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, good luck to you, Mr. De Los Santos.
Thank you. Be excused.
Okay. Yes,
Thank you.
and the state can continue.
Let me
with-
excuse.
Yes, the state can continue
Thank
with the rest of the defendants. Ms. Wadena?
State offers plea documents and offense reports as State Exhibit 1, notification, certification of defendant's right of appeal as State Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosure as State Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and needs assessments as State Exhibit 4. Regarding the defendant Christian Gomez Sanchez, state also offers the PTD pack as State Exhibit 5. State would also request that defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. State would also request that defense counsel stipulate to the fact that all evidence that has been e-filed is sufficient evidence to corroborate the plea of guilty.
Okay, any objections? We'll begin with Mr. Esquivel.
Your Honor, as to Mr. Martinez, we have no objections and so agreed and stipulated.
Mr. Gonzalez?
No objections, Judge, and we so stipulate.
Okay, and that is as to both
That is as to both
Ms.
Garza
Garza and
Ms.
Ms. Villanueva, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Mendoza? Mr.
Yes, Your
Mendoza,
Honor.
as to
I'm sorry.
Sedano
No
Sala?
objection. It is so stipulated. My apologies.
Okay, Ms. Guerra?
So agreed and stipulated, Judge, as to Mr. Salas. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Morena?
Your Honor, we have no objection and we do agree and stipulate.
Okay. There being no objections from defense counsel as to the exhibits are hereby admitted and approved. NCR 21-04058-I in the state of Texas versus Alejandro Martinez, also known as Alejandro Romero, for the offense of driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of greater than a 0.15, a Class A misdemeanor. It is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
Regarding CR 21-04058-I, state recommends a $300 fine plus court costs, 1 year Hidalgo County jail probated for 2 years, the alcohol course, the defensive driving course, the mobile alcohol monitoring device, a 90 days Texas driver's license suspension, and 40 hours of community service. CR 210405-I will be dismissed with the aforementioned plea.
Mr. Esquivel, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, that is the agreement. However, I would like to address the court, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Judge, he's been in custody about 90 days, 85 days. The felony, he's going to get a time served on it. He may or may not be deported. If he is, Judge, they may take him into federal custody, then processed. If he is deported, we'd request that the system allow him to report by mail.
Okay, is that the only request?
Judge, any consideration on the, I know that the documents are in file already, any consideration on the CSR?
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna waive the fines and the court costs. I'm also gonna waive his 40 CSR hours. His Texas driver's license suspension is to run concurrent with any other administrative suspension that is pending at this time. And the rest of the recommendation I will follow.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, anything else on him?
That's all I have, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Buena suerte, Señor Romero. Okay. On CR 1904247-I, the state of Texas versus Samantha Garza for driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, ma'am. It is a judgment of the court that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation for Ms. Garza?
The state recommends a $300 fine plus court cost, 180 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 9 months. The alcohol course, the interlock device, 90 days Texas driver's license suspension, and 30 hours of community service.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, any questions or requests on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I would just ask if the court would allow her some time to pay the fine and court cost, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Garza, are you working full-time at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I would also ask, Your Honor, if the court would possibly waive her community service hours, given that she is a full-time employee.
okay. The court will allow Ms. Garza 90 days to pay the fine, 90 days to pay the court costs, and further waive the 30 CSR hours, being that she is employed full-time. We'll also run her Texas driver's license suspension concurrent with any administrative suspension that may be pending at this time. The rest of the recommendation I will follow. Ms. Garza, what is your phone number?
956-313-5201.
The intake department with the probation department will be calling you in 5 business days.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Best of luck to you, Ms. Garza.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take up Ms. Villanueva then, Mr. Gonzalez, since that's your next case.
Thank you, Judge.
In CR 20-07289-I, the state of Texas versus Alyssa Nicole Villanueva to the offense of assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor. Ma'am, it is a judgment of the court that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
On CR 20-07289-I, state recommends a $200 fine plus court costs, 1 year deferred, the anger management course for the defendant to stay away from the victim, and 40 hours of community service. The CR 20-07290-I will be dismissed with the aforementioned plea.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, any questions or requests on behalf of your client, sir?
I would just request the same as before, Your Honor, just time to pay the fine and court cost.
Ms. Villanueva, are you currently employed?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to also order you to meet with our employment specialist, Ms. Trejo. I will give you 90 days to pay the court costs and 90 days to pay the fine. And Ms. Villanueva, what is your phone number?
956-445-2039.
The intake department with probation will be calling you within 5 business days.
Okay, the rest of the recommendation I will follow. Best of luck to you, Ms. Villanueva.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. In CR 200705-I in the state of Texas versus Severo Salas for the offense of possession of marijuana of less than 2 ounces, a Class B misdemeanor, sir. It is a judgment of the court that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation on this?
Your Honor, regarding CR 200705-8-I, state recommends a $100 fine plus court costs, 180 days, Hidalgo County Jail, prorated for 10 months, the drug education course, and 20 hours of community service. Regarding the case CR 17144464-I, this defendant was previously placed on PTD, but the state has filed its motion for the defendant to be removed from the PTD program. Sentencing would be the same recommendation, a $200 fine plus court costs, 180 days, Hidalgo County Jail, prorated for 10 months, a theft course, and 20 hours of community service. The companion case is CR 18-00094-I and CR 17-14465-I will be dismissed with the aforementioned plea.
Okay. Ms. Guerra, any questions or requests on behalf of your client for the offense of which you are representing him for?
Judge, on behalf of Mr. Salas, I just asked for consideration on the fine, court costs, and community service hours, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Salas, are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you working full-time, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to give him 90 days to pay the fine and 90 days to pay the court costs, but the rest of the recommendation I'm going to follow.
Thank
Okay,
you, Judge.
Mr. Mendoza, any questions or requests on behalf of your client for the offenses of which you represent him for?
That was our understanding as part of the plea bargain. The only request, I don't know if it was made clear by the state, is that it can run concurrent with the other plea, Your Honor. That'd be my consideration past this court.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mendoza, your audio is not, we can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
No, sir. Maybe turn your video off and see.
Hello?
No. Okay, let me just, were you just going to ask for consideration on the fine and the court costs? Maybe yes or no, I can understand.
In the chat, Your Honor, the defense counsel did reply yes, and I believe if I heard him correctly, he did ask that both probation times run concurrently.
Okay, I'll grant that request. Okay, and he'll have to do the CSR hours though. Okay. And the rest of the recommendation I will follow. Okay, Mr. Salas, you are excused, sir. Mr. Mendoza, you're excused. I got it.
May I be excused as well, Judge?
Yes, Ms. Guerra, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yes. Okay, so in CR 1710944-I in the state of Texas versus Cristian Gomez Sanchez, it is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. However, you are asking to be placed on the pretrial diversion program. Is that correct, Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, the pretrial diversion program is a contract that you're entering into with the state of Texas. You're agreeing to comply with certain conditions of the pretrial diversion program. And in exchange, the state is agreeing to dismiss the charges against you if you successfully complete the program. Did you have an opportunity to review those restrictions and conditions with your client, sir? I mean, with your attorney, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you understand the terms and conditions of the program?
Yes, Your Honor.
After reviewing the terms and conditions of the program, is there anything on there that you cannot realistically meet, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Then the court will grant your request and place you on the pretrial diversion program. And your next setting, you are required with this to have a 1-year pretrial diversion date And so we will see you back here on June the 28th, 2022 at 9:30 a.m. to see if you've successfully completed the program, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Gorena, anything, any questions or requests on behalf of your client, sir?
There was one request. I believe he's employed full-time. I know that one of the conditions is that he perform community service hours. I'm asking the court for some consideration on that.
Okay, because he's employed full-time, any CSR hours will be waived.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, if I may, Judge, can I tell you his report for the past month? He does have his interlock device with Smart Start, Judge, and he did have violations.
What were those violations?
He had 3 alcohol warnings and 2 high alcohol readings.
Okay, Mr. Sanchez, listen to me very clearly. Just because you have been placed on this program does not give you automatic acceptance all the way through, nor an automatic dismissal. If you cannot adhere by your bond requirements, not even being on the program and having alcohol violations, then I just do not see how you're going to successfully complete this program. I am challenging you to prove me wrong, sir, because the way I see it, I wouldn't be surprised if I have you in here on a pretrial diversion removal very quickly. I don't take those violations. I don't take those violations lightly at all, especially when they are alcohol violations. You are not to be drinking. And I know Mr. Gorena, and I know that Mr. Gorena has admonished you about not drinking. He is a very seasoned attorney, and he knows exactly what is required. And so do not tie his hands, because there's nothing that he's going to be able to do for you. That is on you. So you're going to limit him as to how he can even represent you. Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, I was going to waive your CSR hours because normally I give that consideration for people that are employed full-time. However, I am not going to do that for you, being that you have not even respected your bond requirements. So unfortunately, Mr. Gorena, I cannot grant your request as to his CSR hours. Please.
Your Honor,
no.
can I
don't
say
talk.
something?
Don't talk. Mr. Gorena, please have a conversation with your client and admonish him as to how seriously this court takes any types of violations.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sanchez, any questions that you have or any excuse that you think you have, you need to discuss that with your attorney. I'm not going to entertain that in my court.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you don't come before me with any violations, I'll see you here next year, sir, on June 28, 2022 at 9:30 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
What is your phone number, sir?
956-330-6471.
And just so you know, these reports are pulled regularly, so you will not be falling through the cracks. Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You may be excused. Mr. Gorena, your client, has he shown up yet? Oh,
Yes,
there
he
he is.
has.
Okay, let me get him in the second round. I just saw him.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that takes care of the pleas that we have. Let me go ahead while we're waiting. So deputy from the female section, who do you have that is supposed to be on my docket?
We have Juanita Blee Segovia.
Okay, her attorney has not shown up yet.
Okay.
So if you can be on standby unless they call us, but he has not checked in with the court yet.
Okay. Judge,
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Your Honor. Mr. Sergio Salinas did file a motion to substitute counsel. He should be appearing shortly.
Sergio Salinas?
Sergio Sanchez,
Sergio Sanchez. Oh, Sergio Sanchez. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and take up Ms. Garza, Dora Alicia Garza, for your client so we can put on the victim testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. that is CR 20-05731-I, the state of Texas versus Alicia Segovia. What are the announcements?
Your Honor, the state is ready to provide victim testimony in this case. The victim's name is Sergio Segovia.
Okay, Mr. Segovia, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you please raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, sir?
Yes.
Okay, you may proceed, Ms. Guarena.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Segovia, what is your relationship with the defendant?
She's my wife.
And how long have you two been together?
We've been together for almost 16 years.
Do you live in the same household?
Yes.
And on the date of the incident, which was March 15th, 2020, were there any violent acts involved?
No.
So you were not, the defendant did not scratch you underneath your right eye?
No, not that I remember. No.
So you didn't suffer any injuries on that day?
No, ma'am.
And you didn't experience any pain or discomfort?
No.
Is there a history of violence in your relationship?
No, ma'am. We never had that problem before.
And are you concerned about any future acts of violence?
No, not at all.
Did you fill out an affidavit of non-prosecution at the district attorney's office?
Yes, I did.
And did you do so out of your own free will?
Yes, ma'am.
No one threatened you or promised you anything in order for you to sign the A&P?
No.
And is it at this time, do you wish to drop the charges against the defendant?
Yes.
And you understand that by dropping the charges in this case, it cannot be reopened in the future.
Yes, I understand.
However, you also understand that if a new incident was to occur, you can open up a new case.
Yes.
Your Honor, the state passes the witness.
Okay, anything from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Segovia, just as long as you understand, sir, that you cannot reopen this case. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the court will go ahead and accept your testimony today and allow for this to be dismissed administratively. Is she pending anything before you are able to do that, Ms. Guarena?
Yes, Your Honor, we're just pending an anger management course, but that can be completed online. We're not requiring any certain amount of hours. It could be a shorter course.
Ms. Garza, how long does your client need in order to be able to complete the anger management course?
Judge, I believe we had already given her the information. Otherwise, I will follow up with her. I would think 30 to 45 days should be good.
Okay, Ms. Segovia, that's the only thing you're pending in order to put this behind you. So I suggest that you do that very quickly, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Since it's going to be done administratively, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set a tickler for this for August the 27th. That's usually when my staff will check on pending items on Fridays. So August the 27th, we'll set a tickler to see if the dismissal has been filed administratively. And if for some reason it hasn't, then I'm going to set you up for a status conference to see what's taking her so long to take the course. Okay? So that'll just be for me, the August 27th tickler.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go ahead and check with her.
Okay, best of luck to you all, Mr. and Mrs. Segovia.
That's all I have, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You certainly may, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, then Ms. Conant, let me go ahead and have the deputy bring up Brandon White.
He's coming, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, this is on CR 21-04938-I and CR 20-08439-I, the state of Texas versus Brandon Manuel White. And what are the announcements?
Your Honor, we filed a writ of habeas corpus on 2 of the cases. a DWI, and an indecent exposure, requesting bond reductions.
Okay, any response from the state?
Judge, the state offered $2,000 bond for both cases. On the DWI case, on the condition that the defendant obtain a device, and on the indecent exposure, on the condition that the defendant stay away from the victim and stay away from the premises.
Okay, Ms. Conant. So
Your
that
Honor-
would be, the offer is at 2,000 cash surety on each of those offenses.
On each or for both?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was it each or
Each one 2,000.
each one?
Your Honor, his family is not going to be able to make that bond. He's worked for three and a half years here in McAllen. Well, the business is in Mission. It's called Cheer Strike. It's a gym. He's worked there for 3.5 years. Apparently the owner is in contact with his mother to try and see when he can go back to work. He's got a job waiting for him.
Where did that indecent exposure occur?
That was a while back, 2019, I believe. I'm not. Does the district
But
attorney know that?
they asked for premise for him to stay away from the premises. What premises is that?
That was a Whataburger, Judge.
It happened at a drive-through lane at a Whataburger, Your Honor.
Okay. Specifically, which Whataburger, if you're going to want him to stay away from the premises?
I can pull up the address, Your Honor, one moment.
Okay.
It happened at 1000 East Nolana Avenue.
Okay, and you stated there was a victim involved as well?
Yes, Your Honor. It was an employee, Priscilla Soto.
Okay.
Your Honor, when he received this DWI in May of this year. He also had a possession case that's a felony. We did a writ on the felony case and the judge reduced it to $2,000. He does not have a lot of money. I would ask if the court would consider, if not PR bonds, then $1,000 for each one.
Okay, this is what the, as to the cash surety, I'm going to take the state's recommendation. I'm going to assess a $2,000 cash surety bond on each of those offenses, and I will not go lower than that.
Very good, Your Honor.
And he will, and I'm going to grant the request for him to stay away from the victim on the premises on the CR 20-08439-I, and also order for him to get a mobile alcohol monitoring device on CR 21-04938-I.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If that's all you have, both you and your client may be excused.
Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Thank you, Ms. Conant. Okay, I was just waiting, Mr. Moreno, to see if I had anybody else show up to do the pleas, but I'll go ahead and take Mr. Villarreal. Is he English speaking or Spanish speaking?
English speaking.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
this is for the jail section. May we be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let me call CR 1904734-I in the state of Texas versus Jesus Carlos Villarreal. And we are ready on a plea?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Villarreal, can I please have you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, sir? Okay, you're still on mute.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, you may lower your hand and CR 1904734-I in the state of Texas versus Jesus Carlos Villarreal. Is that your true and correct name?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you are before the court, sir, charged with driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. A Class B misdemeanor carries a potential fine of up to $2,000 and a penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you have a right to an attorney and a right to a trial by jury. You can waive one or both of those rights by signing a written document with the court. Did you have an opportunity to review the document with your attorney before signing it, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you further understand that by signing that document, you were waiving your right to a trial by jury, sir?
Yes.
Then the court will accept your waiver of trial by jury. Has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Gorena, I'm speaking to Mr. Villarreal. Do you find that he is mentally competent and able to assist you in his own defense?
I do, Your Honor.
Then the court will make a finding that Mr. Villarreal is mentally competent and able to assist you in his own defense. Do you further understand, Mr. Villarreal, that if the punishment that I assess does not exceed what the state is recommending, that you will need this court's permission to file a notice of appeal, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you further understand that I do not have to accept the recommendation of the state, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen, Mr. Villarreal?
Yes.
In CR 1904734-I in the state of Texas versus Jesus Carlos Villarreal for the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor, sir. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then the court will make a finding that you entered a plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I will call for state's evidence at this time.
State offers plea documents and offense report to State Exhibit 1, notification, certification of defendant's right of appeal as State Exhibit 2, notification. Waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures as State Exhibit 3 and waiver of risk and needs assessments as State Exhibit 4. State would request that defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. State would also request that defense counsel stipulate to the fact that all evidence that has been e-filed is sufficient evidence to corroborate the plea of guilty.
I know we have no objection. We agree and stipulate.
Okay, being that there is no objection from defense counsel, the exhibits will be admitted and approved. In CR 1904734-I, the state of Texas versus Jesus Carlos Villarreal. It is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. What is the state's recommendation?
State recommends a $300 fine plus court costs, 180 days Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 9 months, the alcohol course, the interlock device, 90 days Texas driver's license suspension, and 20 hours of community service.
Okay, any questions or recommendations on behalf, questions or requests? Mr. Gorena, on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like the court to consider the suspension of the Texas driver's license to run concurrent with the administrative suspension. Mr. Villarreal is employed full-time. I'm asking the court to waive the community service hours. This is his first DWI. It's a Class B, Your Honor. We're asking the court to waive the interlock device. And also, Your Honor, to waive condition 7. I know the last employment he had was out of the valley.
Okay. Any response from the state?
Your Honor, the state would oppose waiving the interlock device. We would still be requesting that be in place.
Okay.
This is a 2019 case.
It's his first DWI, so I'm going to waive the interlock device. I'm going to give him 90 days to pay the fine and the court costs. I'm going to allow any Texas driver's license suspension to run concurrent with the administrative suspension. And he is working full-time, so I will waive the CSR. The rest of the recommendation I will follow.
Your Honor, will the court allow him to leave the area for
I will also
employment?
waive that condition, and he can leave Hidalgo County for employment purposes.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all I have, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes. Best of luck to you, Mr. Villarreal.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. So we still have Ms. Segovia. I haven't had anybody try to chime in the waiting room. And on number 15, did anybody call in for Mr. Jimenez? It was a plea paperwork submitted?
Your Honor, on number 15, that's the one that he made an announcement in the morning.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
Your
Okay.
Honor, I apologize.
Number 17, Jose Miguel Mendez.
I did not receive any paperwork back. Last I heard from the attorney Jose Solis, they were having some difficulty contacting the defendant.
Okay, let's reset them to 8/26 at 1:30. So Patrick Nitch is not the attorney anymore?
I've been in contact with Jose Solis regarding this case.
Okay, we need to let Mr. Solis know that he needs to file a notice of appearance, Mr. Damian.
Yes, ma'am.
On because it's 1, 2, 3, it's 4 cases. It's number 17 through 20, sir. And we'll reset all of them to 8/26 at 1:30.
Your Honor, if I may.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Judge. I did send the link to Mr. Nitch and not to Mr. Solis. So that is the reason why he's probably not present.
Okay, that's fine. Because, I mean, well, we didn't have any other choice. That's who we thought that was the attorney of record, so.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and on number 34, any announcement?
There was a non-suit submitted, Judge. This case landed in court 10, therefore it is moot.
Okay. Okay, well,
Your
I
Honor,
think we had the jail log off too.
Your Honor, regarding number 9, she was in jail, but I guess the jail had logged off.
Okay. Well, we'll just give her a quick reset to July the 8th at 1:30.
And was, Your Honor, for clarification, was this the one that the new attorney of record is Sergio Sanchez?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe if you want to reach out to him and see if anything can be done. Okay, that concludes, from my notes, that concludes this afternoon's docket. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then let me, we are now off the record. Let me stop the live